Jean Laws is a lovely lady. She came from an old England market town with around 4,000 people.
My hometown, where I was born, is in England, Norfolk, England. It's a very small town, small market town, and about maybe 4,000 people inhabit, and very rural, countryside all around. And that's where I lived for the first 19 years of my life.
You had any chores that you had to do at home?
Oh, just the usual chores like helping to wash up, helping to prepare meals, and I used to help my dad in the garden a bit, and he kept racing pigeons, and I used to help with those a little bit.
Jean's father was a pigeon racer. He would sit in his backyard for ages until the pigeon would arrive. The pigeon would take off from Scotland and fly all the way home. Once the pigeon arrived home, he would take a little rubber band that was on the pigeon's leg and clock it into a time. And once he got that time, he would go to his pigeon club and compare all the times with his mates and see who was the winner. And then, what's this?
That's me and my cousin at the beach.
Oh, was it fun?
Oh, always fun at the beach, yeah.
So what would you usually wear then?
Oh, of me in my knitted swimsuit, which was very interesting. You can imagine it. When I got wet, it came down to my knees.
Growing up in England, she was very close with her cousins and would often go down to the beach. Usually it was too cold to swim, but on the rare chance that it was warm enough, she would wear her knitted swimsuit. So, when you moved to Australia, what was it like on the ship? What were the memories like?
Oh, it was wonderful. I was only 19, and of course it was very exciting, and made quite a good group of friends on the ship, and we had a lot of fun at discos and dances and things like that. Oh, it was pretty packed. It was a migrant ship, so we had to sleep 4 to a cabin. It was a very small cabin, but we didn't spend much time in the cabin, so that was all right. Because I hadn't made any arrangements about when I got to Australia. I had no idea what I was going to do. Just arrive, and actually how it ended up was quite good. We left a notice in the library saying that any young British women travelling on their own to meet in the library at a certain time, and they would arrange accommodation for us. Anybody really on their own, talk to the other people around you and see if you couldn't make arrangements. And I looked at the girl next to me, and she looked at me, and he said, "Okay with you?" Well, yes, that's all right. And we shared accommodation, and we became, but I'm still very good friends with her. She's my oldest friend, and I just met her sitting next to her in the library. Well, we left Sydney and we went to Tasmania for 3 or 4 months. We worked in Tasmania, and then we planned on going to Hayman Island to work there. We were hitchhiking, the 3 of us, and we got a lift with a fellow who said he could take us as far as Rockhampton, and then he was heading west to go sapphire digging. And we'd never heard of this sapphire digging, And he said, "Well, if you want to come out for a week, you've got your own supplies, you've got your tent and your sleeping bags and everything. Why don't you come and try it?" So we said, "Oh, all right, we will." So we went out to the Willows, and I'm still there, and I haven't really left. I met him at the Willows. He was there already. He'd been there he was from Germany originally, and he'd emigrated as well. And he'd done a bit of travelling around, and he and his brother had ended up at the Willows. And they were there for about 8 years before I got there.
Jean and her husband went on to have 2 kids, James and Patrick, who had kids of their own. She now has 5 grandchildren and 1 great-grandchild. Oh, look at the kangaroo. Oh, did you foster them?
Yeah.
Jean fostered baby kangaroos that came in after they were found either hurt or had lost their mum. She looked after them until they were old enough to go back into the bush. Throughout learning about Jean's life and how she moved to Australia to meeting her husband and having many grandchildren, I have learned that life will take you everywhere and anywhere and will show you all the right things at the right time.